Whether I was once upon a time shy and retiring, certainly. When I was in secondary school, I used to get the jitters when I was made to stand up, you know, to deliver a class presentation. And one way of overcoming this is to really kind of challenge yourself, you know. I call it biting the bullet, facing your demons. So I've chosen a career where I actually have to literally stand in front of a very big audience, sometimes 200 to 300 students, and that's one way of conquering your demons, is to actually, you know, face it head on.
So that means you were afraid at first, if I'm right to say.
Oh yes, when I started lecturing, I remember I had to take a swig of whiskey.
You know, I remember up to the time when I was in the equivalent of JC, still shy. You know, I was a very shy student, you know, the typical convent girl, very shy. But I think there was a practice in the school that started it off, and it was good for me. Our teacher required us to make presentations, which was done on a regular basis. So I remember how nervous I was. But because I like to get things done well, I prepared for my presentations. And do you know, when you present well and it goes down well with the audience, each feeds the other and you get more and more confident. Then when I became a teacher, and as a teacher you have no choice but to present things confidently, clearly. So it built on. And I suppose the culminating point was, maybe two culminating points. When I was a guest, became a guest lecturer on the cruise ships. You know, you're in a very wonderful formal setting, you better make sure you deliver properly, and perhaps even more demanding when I became a speaker on political issues. Oh, that is the most demanding of all, appearing on TV, giving a plenary session speeches to a huge audience. So I picked up the skills over the years, and I'm still learning. But I've learned one thing, and that's the most important thing, is to interact with the audience. I could never read from a text, a prepared text. That would be terrible for the audience to see the top of my head. No, I have to look into their faces. And usually I have a very kind audience. And you know, when people are eager, as they were listening to me, laughing along with me, the rest is simple. So that's all I recommend. Prepare for your talk. Make sure that you deliver, that you say things that are informed, that are pleasant, even entertaining, you know, that people find worthwhile listening to if they take the trouble to come to your sessions. Once you have done that and you speak honestly, no pretenses, it's wonderful. You can even make mistakes. It's okay. Exactly. I remember the first time I spoke before my school audience, my classmates, you know, because I had to make a presentation in geography, I remember, and I did research and so on. And I remember I was so nervous. I held a piece of paper which I rolled up and kept rolling. And I remember my teacher, he came up, you know, and he removed the roll from my hand because I was so nervously twisting it. You know, and that cured me of the need. He did the right thing. You know, if you do that, you distract. It actually detracts from the worth, you know, from your presentation skills. So he liked it very much because I had prepared. I remember I rehearsed many times my little speech to say, I've got to get this right, will I be clear here? So the only thing that spotted was my twisting that piece of paper, which he removed from, and I never did that again. Yeah, so that was the first time. Now public, I don't even remember because I've done so many of them, you know, but I have reached a stage when I could even go on stage impromptu and that wouldn't even bother me. Yeah, because basically the audience is kind. I don't have a hostile audience. Yeah, if I were a politician and I spoke to the opposition, that would be a different thing, you know. Yeah. But no, people are kind.